I figured this video might be relevant since I'm coming back from, I was walking on Ikebukuro for a while, and then I was walking around Shinjuku for a while in the rain. Of course, it stops raining right when I get back. I was trying to find that fucking necklace that I lost, but of course, no place seems to have it, so there you go. Probably $200 down the drain, actually, thinking of inflation. And I've had that thing since I've been young, which is a real bummer. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, because you can see, God, there's just no one on the street. I think it's only like 9 o'clock right now. Maybe something like that. Maybe it's 8. I don't know. But you see how peaceful this is, right? And something I've talked about before is the contrast of Japan is so crazy. How every time you're like walking down a different road, it feels like you're in a new area. And it's so, there's like a controlled chaos in the city, so to speak. And then it's like like very peaceful when you walk here. And I always just think about when you're in the city, and it blew my mind the first time I was here too. When you think about nerds, you think a lot of times somebody is a nerd because I guess a lot of guys, they're super into Asian girls, whatever. I've never been super into Asian girls. It's not my preference, right? I wanted to learn Japanese when I was younger because I just liked video games, anime, and manga. It was not because I wanted to bang a bunch of girls, right? Which, to my detriment, is probably pretty bad because that would be the best way to learn a language, right? Of course. And that's not me saying that there's no good-looking Asian girls, because of course I think there's many good-looking Asian girls, but it's not generally my preference because I generally prefer, big lips, nice butt kind of thing. And what I'm getting at is you can see, and there's a stereotype of, Japan, lollies and all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Guys just want to fuck little girls, whatever it is kind of thing. But it's so true. If you can tell, like if you have I'm not saying like a pedophile or something like that, but definitely if you have a taste for younger girls, which maybe generally most guys like younger girls, of course, but if you like girls that basically look like they're just a step above from being a kid, you can tell why so many guys probably go to Japan, because it's just so in your face, right? Like all the girls, they just look like they're a step above being a kid, right? And you're in like the big city, you know what I mean? And you see all these older guys, with these younger girls, you know what I mean? And of course they're fucking them, sometimes for money, you know what I mean? Sometimes, quotation marks, right? And it's that sort of legal gray area of Japan, because Japan is technically 13, but some cities are like 18, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like, Japan has this sort of thing like, a lot of people, you're just allowed on your own devices, so to speak, right? As long as you aren't hurting anybody else, it's generally okay. As long as it's not thrown in the other person's face. Just like when we're talking about, like people, cheating on people, whatever, like the loveless marriages of the husband going to the big city. There's no place to fuck at his house anyway. So before he goes home, when he's working, he's going to fuck a random girl at the Love Hotel, get his dick sucked. Maybe he's going to get a massage. He's going to get his dick sucked, right? Whatever it is. But, man, I just think about that all the time. You just think that you're hearing like, man, again, I'm not saying the girls aren't sexy or anything like that. Like, there are many attractive girls, right? And of course, there's an idea. You see a girl so small, you're like, oh my God, I could fucking absolutely destroy her, right? She is so small. And, they have like a style to them, right? A lot of them wear these like, basically huge boots or whatever, They're pretty stylish, They got these cute voices, and it sounds like you're killing them when you have sex, whatever, right? But I just think, man, dude, like the controlled chaos of Japan, right? And then, you come back to, and it's so peaceful then. I just think what it must be like to actually like live here and to do this all the time. Like, oh, you wake up, oh, it's so peaceful. Do 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 do. Whatever that song is, right? You go work, You're like, yeah, here's that girl. I don't know how old she is, but she's gonna suck my cock. I'm gonna fuck her. Blah 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 blah. Crazy city, you know. Who knows? I'm an old guy. I feel old. I'm already pretty old, but you see grandpas fucking these girls, basically, right? And then you go back on the train, and you're back home, and it's peaceful. And I don't know, man. It's crazy. I just think about that, and you're like, dude, you can see why a certain demographic of people want to live in Japan, right? Do you get what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. You know, wink, wink. Do you know what I'm getting at? Probably you do if you're not a retard. Again, obviously, generally speaking, all guys probably want to fuck young girls, but the girls here are that age where they look like, man, dude, there's a certain demographic of dude, especially, that you can tell, right? And I don't know, man. I just think, I mean, look at how, do you see how peaceful it's been? Like, look how peaceful it is, dude. And just a half hour ago, boom, grandpa's fucking young girls, right? How old are you? Keep it on the down low, right? You know, that's fucking crazy, dude. And I had some guys there telling me what actually happens is there's these like areas or something like that where they like, so there's basically like an in-between specifically where guys go apparently, where they sort of like exchange sort of things, whatever, and they don't have sex on the property. So in case someone actually did care, like the place is not actually held accountable. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, hey, they just met here. They didn't actually have sex here. They just exchanged information here. I don't know, man. Crazy shit, dude. Japan, right? In a way, it's kind of, on another hand, I guess there's the idea of how consenting can you be at any age, right? People don't know what the fuck they're doing no matter what age they are sometimes. But, you know, I've definitely talked to some of these younger girls. I'm like, oh yeah, I've thought about sucking that old guy's dick for money before. I've thought about it. It's easy money. You know, this is like, you know, I don't know. There's the one nice thing about Japan is I do kind of appreciate the idea of, as long as you aren't hurting anybody, people are kind of just left to their own devices, which is kind of interesting, I think. I don't know. Anyway, more thoughts later, I guess. The end.